Daily Devotionals with open hearts and open minds. First United Methodist Church in Pueblo, Colorado presents Hope and Coffee with Pastor Hugo Venegas.
Hi, this is Hugo Venegas. Welcome back to our Bible study, our daily devotional. And we are studying in 1 Peter chapter 3, verses 19 and 20, trying to find out who are these spirits in prison that Jesus is talking about, that Peter is talking about, that Jesus went to preach to. It says, through whom also he went and he preached to the spirits in prison who disobeyed long ago, when God waited patiently in the days of Noah while the ark was being built. So who are these prisoners, these spirits that Jesus went to preach? We have four interpretive options, four suggestions by commentators as to who these spirits were. Yesterday we talked about that they are fallen angels. Today the option that I want to give to you is that these are demonic evil spirits. There are biblical scholars that believe that when angels and when humans made it together, that part of that descendant were people who were filled with evil spirit. And because of all the evil that was produced and how they lived, evil spirits entered into the world. And we know that one of the features that was constantly present in the ministry of Jesus was people who were demonized, people who were possessed by evil spirits, that made them sick, that made them mute, that made them blind, and that even made them crazy. So I want us to look at one of those stories. If you have your Bibles, you can pause and then you can go to Luke chapter 8. And here is a story that Luke tells us about a man who was possessed by the devil. And it's happened during the ministry of Jesus. So let me read that to you. It says here in Luke chapter 8, beginning at verse 26. Then Jesus and his disciples sailed to the region of the Gerasenes, which is across from the lake of Galilee. When Jesus stepped ashore, he was met by a demon-possessed man from the town. For a long time this man had not worn clothes, lived in a house, and lived in the tombs. When he saw Jesus, he cried out and fell at his feet, shouting at the top of his voice, "What do you want to do with me, Jesus, Son of the Most High God? I beg you, don't torture me." For Jesus had commanded the evil spirit to come out of the man. Many times it seized him, and though he was chained hand and foot and kept under guard, he had broken his chains and had been driven by the demon into solitary places. So you see what Luke is saying? That this man that encountered Jesus was demon-possessed. He was crazy. He lived among the tombs. He cut himself. They had him chained and he would break his chains. He was under guard and he had this tremendous, beyond human strength to always get away. And he lived among the tombs. And Jesus confronts the spirits. And here we see in verse 30, Jesus asked him, "What is your name?" "Legion," he replied, because many demons had gone into him. And they begged him repeatedly not to order them to go into the abyss. You see what the spirits are saying? Jesus, don't send us into the abyss. All right? The abyss is that place reserved for eternal condemnation for those who are evil, for those who have gone against God, the Hitler types, and all the people who are ungodly, and the evil spirits, the fallen angels, go to the abyss. So they don't want to go to the abyss. That is the place of final judgment, is a bottomless place of isolation without God, and they don't want to go there. So then they asked, the spirit said, "There's some swine over there. Can you send us into the swine?" And Jesus released the man from the evil spirit, and they go into the swine and they run off an embankment, and all the swine are drowned. And we know that there was such an upheaval in the village because the man was there sitting in his right mind, and he was there because the spirits came out of his life. Jesus cast out those spirits, and in fact, the man said to Jesus, Can I follow you? Can I be a follower of you? And Jesus said, no, you just go back to your family and tell them the great things that God has done for you. So some biblical scholars believe that evil spirits who are not in the abyss, they have not faced eternal damnation, but they're in this holding place. Somewhere, scholars said somewhere between earth and heaven, or below the earth. Some people call it purgatory, but there is a place where spirits are confined waiting for the final judgment. And it was to those evil spirits, some scholars suggest, that Jesus went to preach to. All right, so we're going to come back tomorrow and look at the third option. So we have discussed that possible options for who these spirits are: fallen angels or evil spirits that possess people and make them sick and make them crazy. So join us tomorrow as we continue to do our study in 1 Peter chapter 3, verses 19 and 20. Hugo Venegas from Pueblo, Colorado. God bless you.
Thank you for joining us for our daily devotional, Hope and Coffee, with Pastor Hugo Venegas. If you enjoyed today's devotion, like or subscribe below. We also welcome you to join our family at First United Methodist Church in Pueblo, Colorado. You can visit our website at firstumcpueblo.org, and we hope you continue to have a blessed day. We'll see you tomorrow.